just finished Dragon Quest 9, which was the most appealing to me, and these very modern graphics, this PlayStation 345 is not, my computer, I think it's not capable to do it. I'm running without a video card and all that kind of jazz, but it's still. And I wanted to make a video with illustrations and all that, but I decided I will do that if GOG, Good Old Games, will sell this ever in the future. Then I will know what I'm doing. I started this completely blind. Look, the pure playtime got to 120 hours. Some you can forge off if you don't bother with the sage class, vocation, job, whatever you want to call it, because it doesn't play into the game. It's in every essence, it doesn't have good skills, abilities, spells, and its quests are in the post game. So it's just, and when you can get it right before the final boss. That's a stupid class. That's why is it even there? So what is it? A good game? It's good, but it's kind of old and it has some jank. How should I tell you? First thing is that this is from the era. I don't really know how Dragon Quest evolved later, but this is in like, I don't know, 2000 until 2000. Your gaming attitude was, which was winning, was not that I hit first, so he doesn't hit me, so I don't die, he dies. This is the modern gaming. The old gaming was slow and sturdy. So you should focus on defensive equipment. There will be no way you will be one-shotting left and right the monsters, which are visible on the main map, but they are attentive and fast enough that they will jump on you and you can't outrun them, and because currently the resolution is small, you can't see enough of the game screen that you can aim to a different type of monsters if something is chasing you. Anyway, so it's not perfect, but it's better than just regularly out of nothing just spawn a mob on you, because the Final Fantasy 3 was like that, and most of these are like that. Anyway, so the other was the story that got me. So I knew the Dragon Quest, the franchise, is grindy, so you go out to work a bunch of monsters for an hour to level up, and then you move on to the next quest. That was fine for me, although considering what I experienced, I think I will drop playing Dragon Quest 1 remake, the HD remake, because it's just no longer seems to be that fun. See, I started playing Dragon Quest 4 and it got very grindy very fast. But there, I like the idea that you get this party member story, that character story, that character story, and you play around individually short stories. I like that. That was a good idea. That was something refreshing. you going and grinding numbers up. Here, it was not like that. It promised a solo character experience. You can spawn out of nothing party members, but why would you do? You don't need them. I tell you, you don't need them. And it's actually, if you don't do that, I guess the game will be shorter to start with. But the other thing is, of course, you lose a couple of quests because they demand at least one party member if you hire one. I guess make it a match. They have pretty strong hit all monster spells. Otherwise they are useless, so don't do that. You don't keep, when you change between professions, you keep the abilities but you don't keep the spells. The spells only belong to the active profession, and your stats are changed to the current profession too. The overall, the best stats are for the minstrel. That's your starting class. Stick to that. I promise you, stick to that. Stats are very important. Two other things are important too. One, healing. You will need healing. First there is the basic healing spell, then the mid heal. A lot of classes can get that too, but after a brief while, you want to, as soon as possible, invest 80-something skill point into the martial arts class. You won't use the class, but you want an ability. It heals you 80-something hit point for 3 mana. Very efficient, very good heal. It will serve you even to the final boss. I doubt it will be useful in the post game, but that's another question. Then you need to, some monsters are calling backups, aka they spawn another monster, and they can do this infinite times. Unfortunately, someone needed to code it out, so you will need a hit everything ability or spell. So be aware, don't try to be a warrior. They don't get that. That's dangerous. You will need that, or you will have to grind to an insane level where you get some ability or something. Now, weapons. They are mostly trash. The weapons are trash because their damage never really go over, and their only function that you will use is hit. That's practically the only thing you will use. And it's just the weapon type. You have like a bunch of weapon types, like 1,000. But the only accessible weapon type remains the sword. That's it. Worse, later when you don't have time to heal yourself while you are doing battle, attacking, you will need a specific equipment. And that's a sword. There is nothing like that in the entire game. And I spent at least as much time looking through charts and lists and stuff as I played the game itself. So the 100 something hours is like doubled in actuality. But the whips, there is like a craftable whip, a 3-stage. You craft one whip, from that craft a second whip, and you craft a third whip. That's like mid-game equipment when it gets accessible, all the components. But it's starting game level stuff. It's not good, and it's turn-based game. So I hit, you hit, I hit, you hit. That's it. There is no speed factor that if my speed is good enough, I will hit 2 times while you are only hitting once. That's not how it works. It's just old turn-based game. Turn-based battle. So stick to the sword and collect the mini medals. That's a specific thing. There is a place where you can exchange them to rewards. You don't have to worry if you just it keeps track of it when you are giving to the NPC. Point is, one of the components to make this sword is for mini medals. To get enough mini medals, you not just have to collect all of those, but to get it in the time you are required to have, otherwise you will have to grind like 1,000 years. You have to steal from mimics. You know what's mimic, you think it's a treasure chest, but it's actually a thingy, enemy, monster. And that's the other thing. You will have to craft a bunch of stuff or grind for 1,000 years. After a while, killing a bunch of monsters for equipment becomes very inefficient. So you want to steal stuff. That's fortunately you don't need a dedicated thief to that, it's an ability. 0 mana point cost, so it's great. But where you find the components and what is the stats, what's the value of the thing you will create, you have no idea. Just make it and then it will be revealed. Fuck you, old janky system. Still, it wasn't that bad. Because I didn't have a party, I delved into this alchemy thing. I had to make like 2 entire spreadsheets, keeping track what recipes I already found and what I can make, and then where I can find the components for the whole map thing. Still, it's not that bad, not too bad, it's still acceptable today. It would be very much welcomed if it would be, before crafting the thing, it would tell what it will be, and, it's not inside the game, or you would have to flip bunch of encyclopedias, so you just go to an outside source. It would be nice if it's like a Wikipedia hyperlink. You bring your cursor over the component and it would tell you where you can find it and what you have to attack or pick up from the ground. And the things picking up from the ground respawn very slowly. So that's a problem. Iron ore, fresh water, that kind of thing you have to regularly go back and collect again. The Brightstone is the worst thing in existence. It becomes available very late. Until that, you can only find it on the place, but you have to wait like, I'm just guessing, 3 hour real time until one spawns at its location. Very nice. Stupid system, but again, it's tolerable. It's fine. The pacing of the game, the fights, the collecting stuff, leveling up. It's pacing out. It's fine. If you are not against a slower gaming space, speed. I mean, gaming speed. It will be fun. It's fine. I recommend it, this game, but you have to know that it's a janky at times, and when you finally get to the snowy area, but who wants to remember that name? The snowy area, there will be like every second monster jumping on you will drain your mana. So again, forget casters, just hit it with a weapon. I'm just pulling these out from my backside, but where to spend your skill points for realsies? You can push like to the very end your weapons. It doesn't go that high up. It's not really important. What you will need is deftness at the start. It helps you with stealing stuff. That's not bad. So invest into thief skill. You probably want vanish and more deftness, so invest into the ranger stuff. But before all that, I mentioned the martial arts skill tree for the healing ability. But right after getting the healing ability, invest into shield. 100 point, max it out. Why? So every class, job, vocation, whatever you want to call it, can wear a shield. Even with two-handed weapons, you will just wear the shield and it will function. You desperately need it. And when you get to the snowy area, there will be a questor which gives you a scroll, you can get scrolls for being level 40 in one of your jobs, vocations, or having 100 point in a weapon or shield. You want the shield 100 point because then you get a scroll which you have to put into your character's backpack inventory, so not in the bag, and that will automatically block every single critical hit that hits you. That's absolutely important during the end game, the third of this game. Otherwise you are dead. Yes, it's that important. The other things you might want is the level 40 warrior. Its scroll gives you a very occasional counter attack, so that's a chance for extra damage. And the whatever that is, ranger, because that doubles your chance to do a critical, and that's good. That's always good. That's worth the couple hour grinding. Now, on the map there are some areas within the continents you can't access. Don't even hope. No, that's post-game. Also, half the quests are post-game too, and the other half is some non-existent DLC related thing. I read it somewhere that you can unlock them manually, writing over the game files. I'm not messing with that stuff, and you don't need them, and it's just, who even cares? Talking about quests, they don't give you experience, they give you item rewards, so they are not very important unless you can get some much later alchemy component. They really don't worth it. So, what is the overall story? Because the game mechanics we relatively covered. The game mechanics, the story is that you are an angel, but the village you are at the start you have to protect, so to say. You're picking up quests and defeating monsters for the villagers is Angel Falls, so it's kind of like you are a fallen angel, but not really. You are an actual guardian angel, but not really. The game is a bit schizophrenic, and if I would play it again, I'm willing to play it again if GOG sells it. I guarantee if you would look every detail of the story, it would make zero sense what happens and who does it. But in theory, the story is that you are doing your thing, and no, let's go in timeline. So back in a zillion ages, 300 years or something like that, there was this angel who tried to protect one nation from another, because these things are territorial. So he did. I don't know why he delved into human versus human conflicts, but that's what he did. Of course, he fucked it up, so he went into prison. In prison, he became Lucifer himself, or something like that. That's the gist of it, and shut down God himself, so we are not fighting him. But before this, God had a daughter, and when God tried to shoot down the mortals because they are annoying, she made a deal that she will prove that more humans are worthy, and when they are grateful or whatever for their luck in life, which is actually what the Guardian's angel working, carving them out, they give this, oh, thank you, universe, and that's collecting itself. So she turned herself into a victory, although take to the point. So and with enough gratitude, she bloomed into and made figs. So the guy is in prison and killed God. Well, now something, there is another boom striking down from the heavens, which I don't know where it comes. It probably just the writers even forgot, and that's stopped too somehow. and that's when you lose your wings and fall to the ground, and now you have to collective enough gratitude, grace, so the other angels notice you again and give back your wings. It doesn't turn out that way, because that evil empire, that the angel that turned into Lucifer, is back at it again, and using the angels as matrix energy sources, because of course they do. But actually it turns out they are not back, they are just necromancied back by Mr. Lucifer. Somehow we don't know where they went, when they went, when they were summoned back, and how this goes, and it's only 300 years, so I have no idea. But also not just 300 years, but also that so long ago that not even the angels remember, so the writing is very janky. But the thing is, you release him from the chains because somehow he couldn't get out from his chains, and now he wants to kill everybody, so you go and defeat him. But it was all according to plan, because he actually used only 10% of his power, and his actual plan is to destroy the universe, of course. But his mortal lover shows up as a ghost and tells him it's all a big misunderstanding, and he cancels his ultimate world destruction plan he was working on for a couple of millennia or 300 years. Yeah, that's the story. It's very easy but complicated enough just to give you a thread to walk through the whole thing. Is this an RPG? No, absolutely not. It's a linear story, it's an adventure game. So, what else? Oh, to unlock the Sage, you also need to do mage stuff, so use the mage vocation, and that's just a waste of time, but if you want it, I'm not stopping you. I had enough points to max out the mage skill tree to get some power into the spells, because there the job is to unlock the Sage, is to use a certain mage spell and exclusively mage spell. I could a lot of times circumgo these requirements by using another class. Armamentalist, that was the other class I mainly used for these extra quests, because I plan to do everything I can. Anyway, so you have to use a certain match exclusive spell on a certain enemy, which is only available in the middle of the final dungeon. Great design. The game could use a remake where you get natural NPCs like in Final Fantasy III. The alchemy system could work like double the chance of the drop rate, and throw out half the stuff, because we don't use that. They are absolutely unnecessary. I told you, it needs to be much more convenient, this crafting system. Again, I still prefer the crafting system against using a whole 4-member party. Some people bring up that this is another silent protagonist, but it's not really. It's actually talks, and you can figure out what your character was speaking from the replies of the other characters he's making the conversation. So I was fine with this. Otherwise, the structure of the game is, I heard, it's very Dragon Quest fashioned. It's in every location you solve, it work like mini stories, so you solve the problem of the locals, that it doesn't really influence anything. You just know that solving each city will produce you one fig, and that's what you need to get to the end. Not very complicated. And by the way, at the end, you can craft some very good equipment. Let's talk about the final words. The importance of what you should look in an equipment. Defense. Defense through your ass. In the mid-game, you should focus on, countering all kinds of conditions, sleep, paralysis, instant. At the late part of the mid-game, it's instant death. You have to wear the equipment that can efficiently counter that, otherwise you are toast. And that's why this game needs a quick save system, otherwise it's just ridiculous. The banking system has to go. It's not feasible. It works that if you die, you lose half of the money on your character. It's no, that quick save. So quick save only. And then you get to the Kid Team Empire, and in quick succession, right after each other, you fight like 3 bosses. One is okay. The second is the tiger from Kung Fu Panda, or Leopard, whatever it is. Leopard, yeah. Defense. Throw out anything else. Defense through the roof. Invest your skill point into anything that gives you passive natural resistance, aka defense. You need that, otherwise you will die. And you will need the 100-point in shield, because it has 2 attacks that will cripple you, and it likes to spam them. One is a critical hit. You won't survive it, so why even discuss it? You have the shield scroll. The other is kneecapping you. It immobilizes. You can't do anything, and it can spam it 7, 8, 9, 10 times in a row, 14 times in a row. You just pray to the random generator that it stops with this bullshit for 2 turns and use anything else, and it attacks 2 times in a turn. So from 4 attacks, it must not use this kneecap thing anytime. Ridiculous. It's possible, but it should be. The Giga Steel kneecaps should prevent this thing, this ability. But no, you are just fucked in the ass. Anyway, their defense. Then you devolve back to some of the previous stuff that you get counter a lot of things. It will be fine, it will be pretty evident, and they come all with the top defense stats, defense value. It's good, it's fine, it will work out, trust me. But let's mention something else. You will need a certain ability. Mirror magic or whatever, it's something mirror. It blocks any spell. Every spell. Not the brass attacks and not some very special circumstances, but otherwise any spell. And the third, the Emperor of the Gittim Empire, is using that thing, so forget the casters. You will not win with the caster. But again, after that, you will have a couple of new recipes and you will have top-notch equipment. You will have no problem with the final dungeon. The final boss can give you a bit of a headache. But if you are healing, if you are clever with your mirror spell, you can do it. The second phase is somewhat problematic. It has some unique attack that I hate it, and it sometimes just throws at you too much damage, and it has a mirror spell removal thingy. It's annoying, but oh yeah, you will need this Uber Miracle Sword, which heals you with every hit you are doing, and there is this Falcon Swing that will raise your damage to 1.5 times. Absolutely needed during the the late game against the bosses. It's, you know, more damage, more healing. You absolutely need that. That's what I wanted to tell you about this game for now. Oh, and to finish this with on a positive note, here's a comic book I bought. It's Hungarian made, but it came out in English and I preferred this cover. The Hungarian cover was bullshit, and I have an autograph from Comic Con.